My name is Nick. I'm a full-time trader and entrepreneur. We put out tons of stuff for free for traders. These are real trades. This is real money. I'm putting my money on the line. This is going to be a live trading video here, locking in over $1,000 on this trade.
Wow, I'd love to get in on this.
Technical insights that really look good to me.
There we go. We're live.
Well, hello traders, and welcome back to another stream. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're doing well. We got people in the chat already, so welcome. Welcome back to some of the people who have been here before. Hi to Kimberly, Majix, Dennis, Micah, JJ, Renesha, Lemonade is in the chat, Ashraf. Good to see everyone. Thank you for being here. Again, happy Friday to you. So we've got some stuff to talk about with the markets today. Things are moving again. And I wanted to sort of see if we could do some coverage there. Of course, with everything that happened this week, we had a ginormous move on the dollar. The dollar saw a really bearish week. In fact, dropping all the way from where we were sitting at 93.18 down to a low this week, at one point hitting 91.78 / 91.8. Pretty big move there, drop off for the US dollar this week. Now, what was that caused by? What everything happened? Well, I put out a couple of videos, but the main thing was the Fed meeting there this week, as well as the advanced GDP coming out as sort of less than forecasted. So some bearish news for the US dollar, which was pushing it down. I made the call this week earlier on that I was sort of bearish on the dollar going into everything, especially once we saw this little breakout underneath. Price action was beautiful to the downside, and we saw a continuation for the rest of the week. So if you did catch some of the bearishness on the dollar, then a big congratulations to you. Maybe you played that pretty well. So where are we at with the dollar, and where do we go into next week? It is a Friday, so of course the weekend is here, but after that, we do have a fresh week. And where does that land us going into next week for the dollar? Well, couple things to think about. We did break underneath a major level of support that we actually marked earlier on in this week, where this was green. We talked about this area as a spot where buyers could get strong to try and hold their own, but we did not see that sort of, it didn't really hold there. And in fact, here on Friday, we are underneath that level. And now the question is, can we actually hold that as a resistance now, right? Some of you guys may have heard of that simple concept, basically, of a broken level of support could become now a level of resistance, right? Very simple technical analysis concept. It's the idea that, you know, if this level here, let's say this is a $10 stock, right? If the stock is $10 and everyone says, yeah, $10 is high, and it keeps selling off, but then one day you get a big breakout, now that same area of $10 could become a bargain, right? Because again, if we have this ginormous breakout, the idea is, hey, there was a lot of buyers that said, hey, it's worth more than $10 now. So now at $10, it's probably or could have a good chance of being a nice little buy zone. So when we look at this, we're looking at the breakout here to the downside. You know, it's the same concept, but reverse. There was a lot of demand here, right? Lots of people saying, yeah, it's a buy here. And now with this breakout underneath, it very well could be that the dollar could be headed lower into next week, maybe even retesting some areas like 91.6, as we have really seriously pulled off the highs here up there at 90, what was that? 93.2. So definitely something to keep an eye on there. The fact that we did put in technically a lower high here for the US dollar. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the different crosses. We'll take a look starting at Euro USD here today, which is at a very key spot as well. Euro dollar pulling back this week, seeing a really strong rally off of the lows, basically forming a nice little bottom and running up for the last few days up to this 1.188 level. We tried to poke above it. You can see today we did get a little bit of wick to the upside, and there was a little bit of reversal there, maybe as some profit taking came in. or you just had some sellers that were interested. But I would watch how this candle closes, because if this closes bearish, if it looks like this towards the end of the close, there's still some time left on this daily bar, of course. But if it does close somewhat like this, where it has this sort of reversal looking pin bar style, could be some bearishness coming in for the euro dollar next week. So keep an eye on that if you are watching the euro USD. A couple ideas there for you. So we are at resistance, of course, and we're watching this candle to see what it closes like on the daily chart. So if you're bearish on the euro dollar, keep an eye on that. One more thing I would say, that if price does decide to get a little bit more of a bid to the upside for the euro USD, I wanted to point out a couple levels of resistance here on the higher time frame. So this is the daily chart. A couple ideas for the euro USD is watch for this 38.2% maybe next week if things do continue to be bullish. If you are a bear like I sort of am on the euro dollar, overall, I'm not a huge fan of the euro at this time. I would perhaps be interested in looking at 1.195. Could be a nice level, especially where it lines up with resistance and the 38.2% retracement for a possible short side move back down to the lows. If that comes into play next week, maybe I'll keep an eye on that. But again, I think that probably won't get hit today unless we have something massive for the dollar or for the euro. But most likely, I do like that 38.2% retracement. And I also really like, maybe even more so, a retest of 1.2, a very large psychological level. Remember that many traders, they look at things that are like big, round, even numbers as sort of that psychological effect. Again, we mentioned just a few minutes ago that if something is selling over and over for $10, right? If $10 is like, being sold at that level, prices being rejected at that level, but then all of a sudden things break out of that level, it's a big psychological effect. That's the thing about markets, is that a lot of it is driven by like sentiment and what traders and investors perceive these markets to be worth or not worth, right? So I will say that a big round number at 1.2 could be interesting to watch for the euro USD going into next week. So if you do get some rally here, if you get some more strength, maybe watch out for some of the bigger sellers that could step in favor of this downtrend that we saw pick up here in the last few months. Okay. So with that said, we'll take a look now at GBP USD. This is going to be the next one on our list. GBP USD, pulling it up there. So the pound dollar, what do we have to say about the pound? Well, the pound seems to have found a temporary bottom down there at 1.36. We did come down and tag that level before finding a really strong rally here for the bulls. We have not also seen a lower high here. In fact, if anything, there's maybe an argument for bullishness here for the pound dollar, in the sense that you sort of have this situation in which, okay, we were seeing lower highs come into this market. So there's a lower high, a lower high, a lower high, and then you sort of expected the lower high. So we could put a question mark here. And then we got rejected there, right? So the lower high did not happen. In fact, we see price trailing higher and forming a higher high, right? So that could be an early sign of potential reversal here for the pound dollar, and maybe a move back to levels like 1.42, which we so sharply rejected back in June, right? So a couple ideas there for the pound dollar. If you're watching this thing, it's not my favorite currency pair right now, but if I was to be looking at this, if you think that the pound is a buy, there might be some pullback opportunities, especially on the lower time frames. We'll take a look here. Let's see if I can change this to the 4-hour chart. So here's the 4-hour review for you. You got a nice little uptrend there. And again, that breakout of that lower high concept. So you had lower highs coming in continuously, and then bam, right here, check out this beautiful little break. So you had a breakout of that trend line, a retest of that area, also lining up with the higher lows coming in here, and a beautiful price action push off of that level. So as we look at the pound dollar, I think you sort of have a couple things to think about here. Of course, if we do see a pullback, first stop to me would be this previous level of resistance that was broken out of. So, you may get a bounce off of that level that could get us, to the next highs, continuing the overall uptrend here that we do see on the 4-hour chart. But I think you have two key spots when looking at the pound dollar. So if you're looking to trade this thing, the two spots that I see most interesting on this chart are, of course, going to have to be the pullback If we see one down to 1.39, right, that recent consolidation, you can see it broke out nicely. So maybe price wants to come back and tag that for a retest. And then from there, if that is able to hold, right, you may get a situation in which you see the break above that 1.4 level. And this could be the signal for, in my view, the continuation of this uptrend on the pound dollar. So again, we've seen a lot of strength for the pound dollar, especially with the weakness on the dollar. If you think that the dollar is likely to continue downwards and you are bullish on the pound, maybe this is one to watch going into next week or, something like that. So for me, pound dollar would be on my watch list, especially if we got a little bit more of a pullback there. Could be interesting there at 1.39, testing the lower limits of this upward channel and looking for the continuation of this trend that we're seeing forming right now. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me see also, I want to show you guys this. So if we actually go to the website, we head over to a1trading.com. You guys can use this anytime you want. It is a free, it's my website, but it's a free site for you guys to use. Got tons of free tools for you. I want to head over to the retail sentiment tab here to see what retail traders think about the pound dollar. So pound dollar, 89% of retail traders currently are short on the pound dollar. What that tells me is that if the retail crowd, which is inherently a losing crowd, if they are all going short on the pound dollar, then for me, I would rather be on the long side of this, right? I'd rather be looking for more upside here than trying to fight the trend. And so for me, looking at pound dollar, like I said, best opportunities. If I were looking at this thing, are pullbacks to support. I also know that the UK has been pretty good about, looking to reopen, and they've been pretty aggressive with their, against their lockdowns recently, which remember that, lockdowns cause a slowing in the economy, but removing lockdowns do the opposite. They tend to be good, right? So looking at the pound dollar, I do like the idea of a pullback buy maybe next week. I'll be looking at that for sure. And if I take any trades, of course, you will see them inside of the Discord. If you're not in our Discord, any trades that I take, I share inside. So here, for example, is the trade that I'm in right now with the Canadian currency pair, the CAD JPY. I am long in this one right now. So we will see how that one wants to play out. But all the trades that I take are available inside of our Discord. So, if I go long on the CAD yen, you'll see my entry, my stop loss, all that sort of stuff. You can also see Frank's trades, Patrick's trades. We do a forecast report. We do coaching webinars. There's all sorts of great stuff for members. So if you're not already a member with us and you would like to join us, if you're looking for extra help in your trading and looking to maybe follow along with some of the more experienced traders out there, best way to do that, if you'd like to join this Discord, it is the first link down below in the description. Just head down to the description and sign up on our website there, and you can find out plenty of information if you would like. And there's also a promo code there for you if you'd like to get a subscriber discount here on YouTube. So check it out. All right, so the idea here with pound dollar, to me, like I said, mostly long bias. Would like to see some upside here. If we do get that, then great. If not, I would probably look to stop out fairly quickly. So I'll give you a trade example maybe for next week. Let's say that price does come down here. Again, I would have to reevaluate based on, once the price action gets going here, if it does pull back, right? If you see that pullback, I could see myself looking for pullbacks right around 1.39, give or take, and looking to sort of try and buy into this area of consolidation where we broke out of previously, looking for something like upside from there, maybe up to 1.4, right? So the other thing I will say is that I would probably put stops somewhere underneath that consolidation, just keeping it out of the way a little bit, just to try and avoid getting stopped out if I can. Of course, the thing about stop losses is that everybody has this grand idea of how to put a stop loss so that you'll never get hit. But the point is, a stop loss is there to stop your loss if you're wrong. It happens. Sometimes you get whipped out. Sometimes, sometimes it's a savior. Sometimes it's frustrating, but that's trading for you. There's no painless trading out there. Trading is sort of always painful, whether you like it or not. So that's kind of the idea there with the pound dollar. And what I mean by painful is it always requires you to be patient. It always requires you to be looking for setups and, sitting on your hands a lot of the time and waiting for trades to play out, and sometimes dealing with drawdown. All that stuff never goes away. Unfortunately, it is just the reality of trading. Is you have to accept that if you're going to be doing this seriously, you have to sort of embrace that things are going to be frustrating at times, and that it takes a lot of psychological, I guess not frustration, but a lot of psychological work on yourself to really be able to do this longer term. It is a lot on your state of mind, if you will. Okay, so we'll keep going. Next up on the list is going to be USD JPY. What's happened with the dollar yen today? It's seen a little bit of a recovery, still holding this 109.5 level, as we did see the yen weaken today. In fact, on the currency heat map off of the website, I'll show that to you guys real quick. So the currency heat map on the website showed a really weak yen today. So I'm going to head over to the website, a1trading.com. Again, check it out for free anytime you want. I'm going to go over to the currency heat map. We're going to scroll down here and see what it says. So big thing to note, we have a weak JPY, weak Japanese yen today, a strong CAD, which goes well for my position there on the CAD yen. And then, of course, we've got the dollar sort of holding its own, staying steady today. It's strengthening a little bit. So all that to say, you've got dollar yen looking pretty positive. So there's your overview. Seems like the most interesting ones to me are the Aussie, which is selling off hard today, the Canadian dollar, the JPY. So interesting stuff. The dollar yen, like I mentioned, is making a little bit of a push. Did we see New Zealand down? It looks like a lot of the Asian currencies there. You've got NZD, AUD, and JPY all down today. So I wonder if there was some form of concern around the Delta variant, but that would be my guess, since I know that is a bit of a problem over there right now. So hopefully things recover. But either ways, dollar yen here finding a little bit of support off of the lows there at 109.5. So still holding this support. I think if you're a bull, you'd obviously love to see this thing continue to hold. We had a nice green candle here. May see some continuation here, maybe a push back up, as we've just been really range bound for the dollar yen for a while. On the flip side, if price is able to break to the downside there, I would watch that for sellers. If you are looking for opportunities to get short in the dollar yen, big spot, I would say right there. You probably want to see that thing get broken if you are a bear on the dollar yen. On the flip side, like I mentioned, if you're a bull or you're looking to range bound trade, probably could see some retracement there off of that low. But again, we will have to see what develops with everything going on in that part of the world where you've got the Delta variant sort of as a concern, etc. So with that said, dollar yen, mostly sideways for me right now. Nothing really too interesting about this currency pair. We'll continue on. We'll take a look at dollar CAD, which should be an interesting one today. So the dollar CAD continues its decline. The dollar CAD sort of fell from grace, if you will. You had this really strong uptrend here on the 4-hour chart. Check it out. You could see beautiful higher lows, higher highs coming in, right? Higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Looked pretty good, right? And then you had this concept here where you sort of broke out, fall from grace, if you will, there on the dollar CAD. Now, I will say that it's not necessarily over for the bulls, but you do have this level of support that you probably want to see hold if you are a dollar CAD bull. If that breaks, very well could see this thing continue to crash lower. What is retail sentiment looking like? What's the average retail trader thinking about dollar CAD? Let's go have a look at that on the site. Head over to, again, a1trading.com. I'm going to go to retail Forex sentiment. I want to scroll down and I want to find dollar CAD. Okay, so dollar CAD, traders are buying this thing. It does look like, from what I can tell, that the retail crowd here is trying to buy the dip on USD CAD. Now, remember, retail traders inherently, they lose money. They don't make money. So if they're all going long, it's just a cautionary thing to consider going long yourself, right? It's not that you can't make money going long here, because it could go up. It's just that that the retail crowd is heavily looking to buy this dip, and the retail crowd is usually not the right, not the winning crowd, if you will. Usually they lose money. So to me, a really interesting pending idea would be to see if we can get that break underneath this level here at 1.245. If you get something like this, pullbacks, continuations, maybe we start to see a reversal of this trend here. We do sort of have this lower high concept. Dollar CAD looking really interesting to me on the short side. Could come back into play if we see the Canadian dollar continue to strengthen. Like I mentioned, I am long on CAD yen. This is a pair that I am long on. I sent this trade alert yesterday. So again, I'll pull that up so you guys can see. So I am long at 88.06, shared this with members inside of the private group. So 88.06. So it's not like I'm in a crazy awesome trade here, but I am long right around here. So things are looking good. Hopefully we can see some continuation there. I would like to see this level of what was resistance hold as demand and continue to do so. From there, I will look to try and trail stops and let this trade play out. But that's where I'm at with it. So for those of you guys who are already members with us inside of the Discord, stay tuned. I do plan on holding that probably over the weekend. So if I do hold that trade, if I make any updates, those of you guys who are members, you will see it in my trade alerts section inside of the Discord. So, if I trail stops, if I take profits, etc., you'll see them there. But yeah, I love the idea that CAD strength that Frank actually wrote about on the website. He put out this article, how to trade the looning this week and the week ahead, and I really liked some of the points that he had made. So I ended up picking up some CAD longs. So went long on CAD yen on the 4-hour chart. So far, so good. We will see if it can continue playing out. But with that said, like I mentioned, if you guys are not already in the Discord and you would like to see the trades that I'm taking, you can feel free to check out the link down below in the description. You sign up on our website, and there is a promo code there for you to get a YouTube subscriber discount. So use that code. Join us there in the Discord if you'd like to join our chat rooms, etc. And hope to see some of you guys there. Okay, we'll continue on. Now it's time to talk about gold. Let's take a look at it. We always look at gold because there's always people in the chat asking for it. So here we go. Is it time to buy gold? Here is the question of the day, because gold has been on a tear. It's been doing really, really well. We've seen this thing rally, and now finally starting to see a bit of a dip. But the question is it time to buy this dip? Do we just buy this thing and rally higher? Well, let's do a little technical analysis. Let's actually start fresh here on the gold market. We'll take a look to see what we are seeing here. So gold did come into a level of resistance there. You could see a beautiful retest of 1830, and then just came up to it, just lightly slapped it on the cheek and then fell back down. So you do see a little bit of profit taking there, perhaps from some of the gold bulls. And now the question is that going to completely reverse here, or is this just a minor profit taking pullback before we break out and continue higher? I am actually willing to say that I think more likely we are headed higher. I would say that gold has potential to continue moving higher, and I want to point out a couple reasons why. So you could say, oh, well, because of the price action, right? But I mean, that's part of the clue, but not the only thing. I would say that the leading reason that I would say that gold has potential to go higher is that from a fundamental analysis perspective, inflation is a concern, right? And when you have inflationary concerns, it has the potential to really push the price of gold up. So when inflation is rising, gold is usually rising, right? Because people are saying, hey, I don't want to hold my US dollar. I don't want to hold cash because it's losing value. I would rather put it into something like gold where I can actually, possibly keep my money safe from inflation and maybe even make some returns on it. So we have seen a little bit of a bid up on gold. That is likely what has driven this price recently to the upside, that Fed meeting talking about inflation, etc. So for me, looking at gold here against the dollar, I would say that gold is looking pretty strong, especially with that dollar weakness thesis that I had earlier on in the week. So I may be looking to take trades on this myself. Maybe today, but also perhaps going into next week. We found resistance here at 1832, but then now also seems like we're trying to hold the low here at 1822. So again, a couple concepts to think about with gold. I am bullish on this thing. I think it has potential to break out. If it starts to break out, there may be some opportunities for something like this, maybe today, but more likely going into next week. So this is a setup that I am looking at. I am watching on my radar for gold. I do think it has potential to continue to the upside. I will say a lot of traders, what they do is as soon as gold starts going up, they start to short it. And as soon as gold starts going down, they go and they buy it. And the dangerous part about that is that if you are trading and you have no stop loss, you have no strategy, and you're just sitting there praying and fingers crossed that gold will come back down or gold will go back up so that you can get out of your trade that's in a huge loss. That's really, really dangerous styles of trading. And a lot of traders do that. A lot of new traders, they refuse to take stop losses. They refuse to be wrong. and it's a really dangerous practice. So I will say, be cautious of that, because I would not be surprised. I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go trade gold, but I'm telling you that there's been so many times where you think gold is too high and then it runs way higher. And I love the idea of gold. Personally, I like the idea of a potential breakout retest, very bullish pattern there for potential higher pricing on the gold market. We performed a low back in July there, and then we have since found support in this area. Beautiful little run up to the upside. So again, I like the idea of bullishness. I'm not saying it's absolutely going higher, but I'm saying that I think I like the idea of bullish setups going forward. So if I take any trades, like I said, I will share them inside of Discord, but I am looking for upside on the gold market. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat, in the comments, what you think about gold. But for me, I'm looking bullish on the gold market. So keep an eye on that going into next week. We'll do another couple pairs here. What about pound yen today? What's the pound doing? So the pound yen did break out of this little downward structure, and it does look bullish to me. I would love to see a breakout above this level here at 152.96, or more likely 153.5. I'd like to see if we can see some more breakouts there for perhaps more continuations, buys, breakouts, retest, things like that. So that is the idea for pound yen, at least for me. Take a look at some of the other Asian currencies here. NZD USD selling off a little bit here today on the 4-hour chart, but not too much. Still holding the lows. What about AUD USD? This one's been struggling. You can see this thing just selling off. We came up, tagged that 38.2, and found resistance yet again. This one I am sort of hesitant to look at any sort of buying on, due to the fact that this thing has they're dealing with lockdowns right now. They've got a lot of issues in terms of economic slowdown. Compared to some of the other places in the world, I would say that the Aussie is more of a sell than anything for me right now, based on my analysis and my opinions. I do like the idea of breakouts to the downside. Maybe there's something like this here that could come in play. I'd keep an eye on that for next week. One currency pair that I've been watching pretty closely is going to be Euro Aussie. I've been looking for bullish opportunities here on this one, and this one's pretty close to maybe enticing me to get back into some long side action. Would love to see this thing break out, and maybe retest. We're sort of seeing that play out. So maybe we see that on Monday, Sunday, etc. Could be an opportunity for me to look to continue to buy into this as risk off sentiment still is sort of looming around the corner based on all the Delta variant stuff. So that's my thoughts on Euro Aussie. I do like the idea of upside there. So keeping an eye on that 1.61 level, maybe going into Monday. Okay. So with that said, you guys, any trades that I do end up taking, like I said, I've got a lot of stuff on my watch list, and I plan on taking a lot more trades with everything going on. It's really, it's been pretty good. So I am looking to take more trades. If you are not already in our Discord, you can see every trade that I take, like this CAD yen trade that I'm in right now, which is playing out nicely so far. So if you're not already in the Discord, find out information down below in the description. Come join us, come trade with us, join the chat room, ask questions, work with traders, all sorts of stuff. So if you're not already in there, link is down below in the description. And hey, I got one question to ask you guys here as a favor. Julie asked me if you guys could give her some follows on Instagram for our team page. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, can we just surprise Julie? I don't know if she's listening or not, but if you just do me a favor, guys, A1 Trading Team on Instagram, go give her page, well, our page, a follow there at A1 Trading Team on Instagram. Again, if you just go spam her with follows and stuff, we share all sorts of coverage and trading tips and stuff completely for free. So if you would like to get in on that, again, it's completely free, and Julie would very much appreciate it. Julie is, she's our marketing person here. So if you, would like to support our content here, again, this is something that you could do completely for free. If you have Instagram, follow us at A1 Trading Team. Maybe send a DM to them or something, or comment on a picture and just say, hello, Julie, thanks for doing something for the team, etc. Again, we're putting out tons of free content on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all sorts of places. So you can follow us all over the place and continue to stay in the know with the latest trade setups, ideas, and stuff like that. So if you're an aspiring Forex trader or stock trader, whatever you look at, definitely give us a follow. It might help you out. With that said, again, follow us on Instagram. And thank you guys very much for being here today. If you did enjoy, then make sure to hit that like button down below. And we'll see you guys back in the next video.
I know you were expecting Nick, but my name's Julie and I do the real work around here. I wanted to take a second to thank you guys for watching the show and tell you more about some free content that we offer. One of the things that we offer is a free email newsletter. So if you click the link down below, you can sign up for free market analysis, trading tips, and exclusive offers. Every once in a while, someone here at A1 Trading takes a crazy trade and you'll be the first one to know about it. See you guys next time.